All right, here we are, problem 5, page 435. This is actually the second and last of the two problems that I'm helping you with on homework set 29. This is a sister to problem 4. Not sure why I did 53 before I did 5 in this case. And actually all it wants you to do is find exact trig values. So again, page 435 is actually in the chapter review. That's why it might feel like we're going backwards in time. But it's actually a pretty good check for yourself because you've now used the unit circle quite a bit. Maybe we've been doing this for a week and a half or 2 weeks or so. And maybe you recognize that the tangent of pi over 4 is that place where the sine and the cosine at pi over 4 are both equal to 1 over root 2. And so the sine over the cosine is 1. And maybe you're adept enough now to look at pi over 6, see that as 30 degrees, think about a 30, 60, 90 triangle, and recognize that the sine is 1/2. And you can write down the answer to this problem in record time. Or, if you maybe can't do that, you should go back to the unit circle. Let's go find pi over 4. You recognize that's 45 degrees. You know we're looking for the tangent, and the tangent is the sine of the cosine, but let's just pull this little triangle out. 45 degrees, there's 45, there's 45, here's 90, and I think you've got to remember that this side is 1 over root 2, and this side is 1 over root 2, making the sine of 45 1 over root 2 divided by 1 over root 2. Sine of 4 over pi equals sine of 45 equals 1 over root 2. The cosine now is the adjacent over the hypotenuse. So the cosine of pi over 4 is the cosine of 45 is 1 over root 2. And so if we want to find the tangent, we just have to form the ratio of the sine to the cosine, and we're going to end up with 1 over root 2 divided by 1 over root 2. Pretty sure that's 1, as we said. Okay? Now, if we can change colors, right quick like, and draw instead of pi over 4, we draw pi over 6. We pull that little triangle out. We remember that pi over 6 is equal to 30 degrees. Or if we don't remember it, we convert pi over 6 to radians by multiplying by 180 all over pi. Pi's cancel, 6 into 180 is 30 degrees. So I get 30 degrees here. I've got 60 degrees here. I got a right triangle, 30, 60, 90 right triangle. You really have to remember this or be able to derive it. If that is 1, this side is 1/2. This side is root 3 over 2. And we're after the sine, so the sine is the opposite over the hypotenuse. The sine of pi over 6 is the sine of 30 degrees is 1/2. And that's what we said above here. Okay, so a little review. We'll move on to homework 30.